John was working in his science lab, got blasted by gamma rays. Now he's Smash Trivia John, always smashing. He's friends with Ruffalo, crushing on Maslany, and also Sydney Sweeney. John's here saying, hello my gamma friends, welcome to the show, the Gamma Analysis Podcast.
Smash.
Hello, my Gamma friends, and welcome to the spooky season. And welcome to the show. I'm your host, Smash Trivia John. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram by searching Smash Trivia. I'll be the one with a big old severed green head in the profile picture. This is the Gamma Analysis. Basically, I'm gonna review everything Hulk. All the movies, TV shows, and I'd also do random other geeky films. And you can check out my other show, Creepy and Kooky, a Wednesday Addams podcast, where my friend Lilith the Librarian and I discuss the Wednesday TV show and all things Addams Family. Hope you enjoy Smash Cherry Presents the Gamma Analysis. I want to ask everyone listening, please do sign for me. Please share the hell out of this podcast with all your friends. If you don't, Hulk will be angry. Now let's smash right into this episode. Today's episode is a review of Marvel Zombies with Keith. How you doing, Keith?
Doing good. I need a cool spooky season nickname. Like you got Smash Trivia John. It fits so well. I want to be like Piss Your Pants Keith. I'm here. I'm here, and I'm ready to piss my pants. Apparently, I'm doing great, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to be able to talk about like something new from Marvel over with you. For it's been a while since we've gotten to do something like that together.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, we did we talk about She-Hulk? I'm drawing a blank if we ever reviewed that, but I feel like we talked about it in many episodes since.
Yeah, we did.
Comparing the old to the new. Yeah,
I think that was one of the last shows and movies that we actually did a review for together, because I think it was around that time after that when you moved over to the Avengers podcast.
True, that makes sense. Yeah.
Oh.
Yep, that makes sense because it was Loki season 2 was my first thing ever to review with them, and my God, that feels recent still, and yet I think it's been 3 years, right? Holy crap. Maybe 2.5. Anyways. But
I think that was 2023. Yeah.
Can this Marvel Zombies project be considered new though? Because this was delayed like crazy. You can tell by the cast that this was like we really dropped the ball on this one.
I don't know.
Sorry.
I think it's more of just like this being something where animation takes a while. That was more the case with this. But though it is a spin-off of a season 1 episode of What If.
Yeah, that's crazy to think about. That season 1 was the first and only zombies reference until this point. And you'd think like, oh, we'd put that out sooner before season 2 of What If or something like that. But yeah, I feel the same way. Oh, but we can get into general thoughts if you want. I don't want to jump too far ahead.
But I really enjoyed the zombie show, but also at the same time, it is absolutely a mess because it does not explain anything.
And the things it does explain are a little rushed, a little convoluted.
Like this is very much time where I'm like, if you turn off your brain, I think you will really enjoy this. If you're someone who thinks about all of how everything needs to make sense, and you might have a little bit more trouble.
Yeah, I completely agree.
But like, there's like it really is though something that you can really enjoy. Or though if you turn off your brain because there's so many cool things.
It is. It's one of those. If to me, it's. I have a problem with What If in general because I like what they try to do. I don't like how it ends up looking. I have a big like problem, a thorn in my side about their animation, specifically about faces. And so there's parts that take me out of this series. I prefer this to What If. I think this is a lot more fun and a better way to spend your time because a short episode where you're trying to just get used to the world that they're trying to introduce to you, and then you're on to the next world. And it's like, okay, this is a little bit more steady paced. It's you can buy into this world and see where they're going with it, and you don't really lose track as much because there's a little bit more emotional investment, but the animation takes me out. They do action sequences great, but it bothers me that, like, say, Kamala Khan, Kate Bishop, Riri Williams, this is the first time we're ever seeing them interact really. Like as a team, as a unit, these are our young Avengers, these are our champions one day. And it gets so undercut because they are just these lifeless mannequin faces. There's just something very irritating to me about the way they do dialogue parts.
I like how well they're able to actually make them look like the actors, because that's I think a lot of animated things don't do well. Actually making you like be able to tell with any character you're looking at. Oh, I know who this is.
Yeah, yeah, I would agree there. They've improved as the What If the people behind these animated projects are clearly the same animators or at least same programming and designers. So the characters are looking more and more like the characters, which is nice. Especially because they have no excuse not to. They have a human reference to to like they don't have to just conjure up some bone structure and face. So they are looking more and more like them. It's purely just it's the lip matching. Like Elizabeth Olsen, hearing her voice was great, but watching Wanda talk, I was like, get someone on that syncing of the lips and the consonants. It's just yeah, but yeah. I don't want to be a bummer though. Let's talk about cool stuff.
Oh, one first thing you already brought up is how this is the first time we've gotten to see a Kamala, Kate, and Riri together. Their chemistry is so good.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things I feel like What If and this tend to like beta test and like focus audience, like the focus group idea of okay, if people see these guy characters acting together and interacting and they like it and we see the chatter online, okay, we know we should definitely feature these three. And I hope that people do react positively to this and to Blade and to all the other things that we're getting for the first time really with this series. But they're great. And their dynamic's amazing.
Really, what really a big thing this show made me realize is I think that Kamala would have a good dynamic with any character because because every character in this she has like their interactions are so good.
Yeah, yeah, she's used as the heart of this whole series, and I'm not sure what her importance is to Wanda. That kept
that's the
like,
thing. That's one of the things where I met earlier. I'm like, they don't explain anything. Why does she matter to this?
Yeah.
And like some people on social media are saying like they think that the people behind this are definitely wanting a season 2 or something and that they think that's why they didn't and say it in this season. But at this point, I don't know if we can expect such a thing from Marvel with how terrible they've been at giving shows season 2s.
Yeah, it's one of those things where they seem to lean on the animated stuff when they're trying to tether between movies. And if they have the time, I feel like they would do a season 2 because I think this is getting better reviews than What If would. So, I mean, if you can give 3 seasons to What If, you got to give this a season 2, especially when you leave on a cliffhanger the way that they did. It's kind of either a cliffhanger or it's just a bummer ending. And I would rather the cliffhanger option.
Another thing that it just doesn't work to me is because this is a universe where the change happened around the time of Infinity War.
Yeah.
Um, the Nova Corps shouldn't exist.
The Nova Corp what?
Shouldn't exist. They should be
Shouldn't
dead
exist.
because
Oh
Thanos
yeah.
killed them.
Right.
But they somehow do exist, and they don't even bring up that fact.
I was trying to remember what point he did kill them. I
They
remember that
said that
line
this
of dialogue,
in
but
it was at the beginning of Infinity War, or Thor told the Guardians, if I remember right, that Thanos decimated a whatever the name of their Xandar are like a few weeks ago, and like that
okay.
yeah, and that was how he got one of the stones.
Yeah. So it's like the loophole of like how okay, so
And
he
then
gets the Mind Stone from Vision. He's got all the other stones at this point, and then the zombie
yeah,
outbreak happens. So I guess what they're saying is that this alternate universe where there's a zombie outbreak, he just doesn't go and kill the Nova Corps. It's like, how did he get the
but
Power Stone?
yeah, how do you
Yeah.
get I don't know. And
Yeah.
then, but also the so if this started around Infinity War, or Kamala got her bangle in 2024 or 2025. I doubt 5 years after the zombie apocalypse happened, her grandmother was sending her a bangle.
I don't know, man. I bet you
Uh,
she'd be the one I'd be banking on to live through a zombie apocalypse.
well,
That
yes,
lady's
but
tough as nails.
do you think the post office is existing?
Maybe FedEx.
I,
Maybe she found the
it's
only
just
one.
like I'm just I just feel like if they had explained like that there were that she got that she was sent it earlier in this universe, okay, that was fine.
Mhm.
I'm by like having like a flashback on screen of her getting it and having like the date on screen, and,
Yeah.
but but just the way they present it, they don't even bring it up the fact that it's
Yeah.
weird that she would even be part of this.
They definitely don't they definitely skip that detail big time. There's I mean, so the events of like it's the same thing with Kate Bishop, the events of her
Yeah.
becoming
Well,
Hawkeye
I
all
think
happen
with
after as
her,
well.
it's her. It could be explained a little bit easier by because she was already using a bow and arrow before the events of the Hawkeye show,
Yeah.
so
Huh.
they can just say that she was being a hero before that. The same thing with same thing with Riri. I think particularly with Kamala, like that, it is a little bit strange that she's just
Yeah.
they made sure with Shang Chi to explain why he has his powers earlier
Yeah,
by
for sure.
having his father come in and give him him the 10 rings, but they
Easily the
nothing with
coolest
the
thing. The
I
coolest thing
love
about this series was Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi, not only the Wenwu handoff of, okay, your arm is bitten, I'm going to save your life this way and this
like
time, but he also shares them with
yeah,
Katie.
I assumed in that moment that he was just gonna cut off his son's arm.
Yeah,
Not I
yeah,
did not think he was gonna just stop the infection by and with
yeah.
the 10 rays.
It's I like the way that these mysterious things like the 10 rings or the Infinity Stones or like any really MacGuffin kind of thing, it's not so explained because it's it's from space, right? Like it's ancient but
Mm-hmm.
also from space. So I like that they don't have to they can play fast and loose with the rules of, okay, let's apply this to a zombie apocalypse. Yeah, sure. The 10 rings would be
Mm-hmm.
perfect. Now he has a dead arm, but he can still use it. Um, but yeah, the fact that they skip ahead with Shang-Chi and he's given 5 of them to Katie, it's like that's something I need them to play with in the live action when we see Shang-Chi and Katie again, because not only does it up her character as way more awesome, but think of the difference in how she would use them compared to Shang-Chi would use them. There's a lot of fun
Mm-hmm.
play there that could
Oh
be
yeah.
utilized. Yeah.
One thing that I think, and this is something with both of this and What If that I will always appreciate is how it feels like any character can just show up at any point, and that really to me makes Sign feel like a shared universe, and
Yeah.
there's in a way that the live action stuff just can't.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
they have so
now
much
there are,
more
I
room to
will say
play.
there are some shows where it does feel like characters can show up at any point. But then there are other ones where like the Daredevil Born Again, where I'm just like I saw people being like, oh, I hope this character shows up in this character. I'm like, I can feel just by how the show's going that they're trying to act like the rest of this doesn't exist.
Yeah. Yeah, they feel isolated. They feel like they're in some kind
I
of bubble.
Daredevil Born Again feels more isolated than the Netflix shows did,
Yeah, 100%.
which is
Because it like why is
weird.
no one else in New York?
It's weird that the show where they're actually are allowed to feature other characters feels more isolated than the ones where they weren't allowed.
It was this weird combination of trying to
You know,
feature the Netflix series that everybody liked in a positive way, and then add this MCU, steroids to it. Uh, but they still don't feature anybody else from the MCU in any popular or any impressive way. Also, how did Hell's Kitchen suddenly become all of New York, and where the hell is Spider-Man? Like they can't explain these things. They can mention
like
him, but he's on vacation.
annoyingly, Kevin Feige said that he wants them to go back to the movies and the TV shows are separate, and it's like, no, why do we got to do that?
Yeah,
Just
yeah. I'm
let it
already
feel
like
like a
bummed.
connected universe.
I know that they changed. I think the plans for Young Avengers has changed to being a TV series instead of a movie, and also that the TV series is called
If
The
it's even
Champions.
happening, I mean, because
Yeah,
they've never confirmed it's even happening, but they just keep teasing stuff about it, and it's like,
yeah.
what's going on with that?
I feel like they think it's a big risk with the fact that okay, Kate Bishop's never been in the movies. Riri's been in Black Panther, but nobody talks about her character from that. And then Kamala's been in the Marvels, which was a box office failure, which is not their fault. It was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's just they're looking at the suit. The suits are looking at their money and their wallets, and they're going, maybe just a TV show. And it's like these
It's
are
just
some
weird.
just some awesome stars that should be on the big screen. You bastards.
But yeah, I get that's just like I love when the shows or the movies feel like anybody could just show up at any time, and and we get that with this. Is this did sign that I've been wanting them to do for a while with the while in live action, which is embrace the fact that Shang-Chi and Ant-Man are the same city.
Yes. Yeah. San Francisco division of the
Like
Avengers.
they
Let's do it.
like they don't really reference each other at all in their movies, and I'm like I feel like you could do something there and make it really interesting, and I think it's really cool that they actually were willing to embrace that fact in this, that they're in the same city.
Yeah. It's one of the delightful things about having these side projects and these alternate universes is that you can throw characters back in. Like for the Kamar-Taj soldiers and sorcerers in this show were shown only the one time really in
Yeah, Multiverse of
Multiverse of
Madness.
Madness, but they were some of my favorite parts of the latter two episodes of this. That swordman guy, I have no idea what I know he was featured in Multiverse of Madness, but very very little. And then you see him pulling off these great moves and an awesome battle, techniques with his both magic and sword wielding, and I'm like, I want to know more about this guy. I want to know more about the Minotaur.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Another thing though, where it does not really explain, and I wish it did, is what exactly happened with that fight between Hulk and Wanda that happened at the end of the What If episode.
mm-hmm.
Like we skipped past that. I'm like, I think that would have been interesting for us to get to see the conclusion of that fight. Um, and but also like if Hulk could hold his own against Wanda, without the Infinity Stones, there should be no way that she can stop him if he has them.
Agreed. It was bizarre enough for me to. I had to watch it twice to understand what the fuck do you mean Hulk has been imbued and drenched or soaked in the Infinity Stones vapor, and now he's the Infinity Stones
Yeah, and
incarnate.
why?
And then it was like, wait, so why can she get so
And
close to him?
how
He could get
long
everybody
has
else
he been?
away.
And how long has he had those going in him? If he's had those for the past 5 years, why is it not just destroyed his body like it destroyed his arm in Endgame?
Yeah, yeah,
Like
that is also cool.
that's a big deal. With you kind of doing a similar thing with Hulk in this.
Well, maybe it's the difference between breathing in vapors and meditating compared to scalding yourself on the arm with hot water. I don't know. I
But
can't explain it.
to be honest, though, like I find it interesting and weird though that they didn't have Mark Ruffalo come back and voice him in this. They didn't give him any lines at all. Like he's Mark Ruffalo has been one of the actors who's been very willing to come back for the animated stuff.
Yeah,
He appeared a bunch of times in What If. If so, it's weird that they didn't do that for this, and um, but also like I don't think that the Infinity Stones imbuing him should have made him like mute or something. Like
yeah,
he like
yeah.
if anything, that should have like
Made
kind
him
of
smart Hulk.
that made him smart Hall. Yeah, like because of the Mind Stone.
Yeah, the I think that's got to come down to just a budget issue. Like you've
Mm-hmm.
got Elizabeth Olsen is clearly one of the biggest stars in this. You've got two different people doing the voice, or a person doing the voice of Zemo and Blade. So it's not actually the typical actors, but
Mm-hmm.
most of the other actors were pretty. Everybody was there. So I think maybe they just kind of blew their wad a little too
Maybe.
much, and it wouldn't have
Too
served
weird.
the fact that it's just an action piece, right? This Hulk that they're maybe he's more scary because he doesn't talk, you know.
But
I don't
also,
know.
this is just from a funny aspect. I'm like, why did he remove his hair? Like that was just so weird.
It's like Professor X in Apocalypse. He gets so powerful his hair just falls right the fuck out. Yeah, clean cut, no razor ever needed. Yeah, it wasn't just stress and bad genetics. Not that there's anything wrong with balding, which I
I
absolutely am.
understand. Well, I'm balding too. But I I really loved Blade in this, even though in which it saddens me that this wasn't actually Mahershala Ali voicing him,
Same.
but they still got someone who sounded so much like Mahershala Ali, and he was great in
Yeah.
this. It really sucks that they're having so much trouble with the Blade movie that happened.
And that's one of those things that's like we want to see either a Blade or a Midnight Suns movie, and when you tease both, okay, here's the Mahershala Ali Blade, because look at him, that's him clearly, and then the guy doing the voice for it is good, but does he have all the personality that Mahershala will bring to it? I don't know. I really love Mahershala. We will see. But then to tease it with the connection with Khonshu and Moon Knight, it's like, okay, you're setting us up to get excited about a thing that we need greenlit. You need to, like, I've heard that the script is getting better for Blade, so they're going to get working on it. But it's like you've teased us for too long, and now you're bringing this to kind of hopefully energize and get people excited, and then announce, okay, we're going through, and Blade's going to be 2026 or 2027 or something. Like, get the good news out there if this is something that you've finally been able to figure out.
Yeah. You know, one thing, and this is just like a small thing that I think is just a little bit of a missed opportunity. I think it would have been really funny if they had Kamala say "fuck" since it's a TVMA project.
How much swearing was
Like
in
that
this?
would
Did you catch some
there
swears?
was very little. There was like a few people saying shit, but like that's all. Like which the to be honest, like though yes, the blood and gore was pretty
Yeah.
wild amounts. You can do actually some pretty wild stuff with that in PG-13. It's really a what usually gets signed to be an R rating is actually those cursing are
Yeah.
saying, and it's and like it kind of makes me wonder if this were in live action as a movie, would it have been PG-13? Like
Oh God.
I
Yeah.
I feel like it could be because there was so little cursing. There was less cursing in this than most Marvel films, I think.
I think you're right. I think it's one of those things that I would have loved to have seen an R version if they were to do or a live action, but they could get away with it if they can do the violence that they did in this cartoon. Because the thing too, doing an animated thing,
Mm-hmm.
violence in an animated form is that going to have the same rating requirements as the same violence
Mm-hmm.
being done all on camera? No, nothing
That's
implied.
nice.
You get to see Jimmy Woo get ripped apart and his head bob up from a from a big horde of zombies. You get to see people just split in
I
half.
I
All of it. A rated R is
I
what they probably
wish they
need.
could have released this in theaters because this would be so much fun to watch in a theater.
Yeah,
Just like it's so epic
yeah,
and it feels like something you would want to watch in a theater. They said though like they had the people that were making it said that they had actually wanted to be able to make this as a movie, but they weren't able to because they wanted to bring back Spider-Man from the What If
yeah,
episode, and
yeah.
they can't do that. And
Can't
like,
can't feature
which is
Spider-Man
like
unless it's been agreed upon. Yeah, it's got to be TV
it's
only.
annoying.
Yeah,
That's really annoying because like this really would have been so much fun to watch in a theater. And to be honest, Spider-Man doesn't really feel like that big of a thing in the episodes that he appears in.
yeah. He's got this
So
one
like
big moment.
they could have figured out a way around on having him
Yeah,
and still told the story that they wanted to tell. No,
yeah. I mean, I would have even been okay with it. It was a nice nod to the What If episode, but I would have been okay with this completely being a different story detached from What If. Just same animation, whatever. But I mean, I would have liked it if they got the X-Men 97 animators, to be honest. That would be my absolute dream. But if they were to do this differently, but they didn't need to connect this to the What If Zombies episode. It could have been entirely happening someplace else with some other big goal in mind to try and stop the invasion, but or the infection. But yeah, I think Spider-Man maybe had two great moments, and one of them was just ripping a whole bunch of zombies' heads off over a crowd. That was cool. And then the other was basically showing us that flashback where you lose T'Challa. And
yeah.
I am glad that they did not cast or revoice
Mm-hmm.
T'Challa for this flashback.
Like with that scene with Wakanda, they could have easily not shown Spider-Man and just had it be Paul Rudd voiceovering it.
Sure.
And like that's really the only place where you could even argue that Spider-Man's really needed.
Mm.
and like because they had to continue off of that the What If episode. But I think that there's ways you could have cut around it to make it so Spider-Man doesn't isn't shown up or up, and I'm pretty sure they can just reference him. So they they reference Spider-Man in the Ant-Man Quantumania. Like they could have done on something like that so that they could release this in theaters. And
Yeah.
and I think to be honest, this would be very popular in theaters, especially for the Halloween season.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think and they could have honestly given it a bit bigger budget too. Especially if they've known since season 1 of What If that this is something that they wanted to make. It's like that's a long time to be working on it.
Mhm.
And I don't know. It's
I think
somebody at Marvel needs to
I
allocate their funds better.
mhm. You know, I don't know exactly how they would have done it, but I do think it is like interesting, especially with how they were just willing to be so willy nilly about Kamala's origin. Um, like that She Hulk does not show up because this feels like every other Phase 4 character shows up.
Yeah. Yeah, they
It's
are
like
trying to
it's
bury.
weird that they're weird that that one character is the only one where they're like, yeah, we're not gonna bring that up. Like I'm they did have a zombie abomination, but like I'm pretty sure it might have even been the in the design from the 2008 film instead of the updated one.
They did have a bit bigger. They had a massive spine on him, just like the 2008 one, but they did have the fin ears.
Hmm.
So that is to me
But
the
then
update
again,
that they
but then
needed.
also though he did appear in Shang-Chi, so it was probably more of a reference
Sure.
to that. But like but I'm just like I find that interesting that they seem to make sure to include stuff from all the Phase 4 stuff except for that.
Yeah, it's one of two things. I think they're either trying to distance themselves from the She-Hulk series so that it could maybe potentially garner some excitement for a cameo, or they're just trying to bury that it even
Mhm.
happened and just let's ignore that we had this
It's
series
weird.
that was so short-lived, which sucks. I hate that
But
because
the
there's
thing
so
is,
many good
I feel
projects.
like it to me it feels like it's less like something where they're trying to hide it and more of like just like for some odd reason they never thought to put her in it even though they planned on putting out everyone else in because like with animation with how long animation takes it's most likely when they wrote all this and storyboard things and all that kind of stuff. It would have been probably before the She-Hulk show even came out, so they wouldn't have known all the backlash that would come from it.
Yeah, you're right.
So it just feels like it was just this strange omission.
Mhm. Yeah, it's one of those. I'm curious where they go from here with how how bloated a budget and huge mess that the biggest Avengers movies that are coming up could end up being. Um, I really wish that they would basically rein in the money spent and spend it like they were on smaller projects and just have a bit more realistic idea of what a good turnout or good ratings of it would be, because I think that they if they just put the story first and greenlight scripts, stop rewriting them, stop going back and making changes and letting too many cooks spoil the broth, just let these scripts the same way James Gunn's talking about how he wants his DCU to be is like, okay, we're going to take our time, approve the stories and put the stories first, and that's how we'll get a good product. It'd be nice to see Marvel go in that direction instead of being like, okay, we're going to go back to just white men and we're just going to focus on the big ones like Spider-Man and Fantastic Four, and it's just like that's not what we enjoyed, at least the majority, I think, of the MCU fans out there from the beginning. It's not what we enjoyed most. when promised a wider universe of collaboration and like all these different characters. It's like, just follow through with the characters that you've planted seeds. The first Captain America movie, the first Thor movie, they were not amazing. They were good. And then you wanted to see where they grew as a character in their next outing and their next thing.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see from Kamala. That's what I want to see from Kate Bishop. That's what I want to see from Riri, is see them grow. And they don't trust the process. Damn it! So it's, even seeing Icarus in this Marvel Zombies was like, whoa, wait, you guys are willing to acknowledge Icarus?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Even though it took me a second, it was like a double take. I was like, wait, who's that? And then, yeah, of course it's Icarus. He can't die from a zombie bite, and he's still here.
Yeah.
He didn't fly into the sun, strangely.
Well, I think they could have been like maybe because of like so in the Eternals movie, like they had that there's had that because it got pushed forward because of the situation with the snap and the Infinity Stones owns I wouldn't be surprised if if that situation got pushed with this it's not so much the snap but both there's a lot less population because of the zombies and because of the the
They're not
the
living.
infinity like barrier that got created around the earth.
Yeah, true by the Nova Corps. Well, yeah, the celestial living inside Tiamat. No, Ereshem's the red one. Tiamat's the yellow one. That's
Tiamat's the one that was growing.
So yeah, Tiamat was not.
Tiamat might not have been able to grow through those the Infinity Stone thing that came from T'Challa's sacrifice.
So Icarus would never even have to reveal his hand. He's just thought of as a good guy still.
Even in this though, I don't think he's being thought of as a good guy. It's more of just
he's here
because as they said the Valley of the Gods they only stop their fighting whenever anybody goes through to kill those going through. So both Icarus and Carol are killing people who go through. So they just don't care.
Fucking Icarus.
It does make me wonder though where the rest of the Eternals are.
Yeah, I mean, we know they're not afraid to put like what's the hell's his character's name? You know, the Bollywood actor.
Oh yeah. Kamal Gianni.
Yes. Okay. So what's his it's not Cujo. Cujo's the dog with rabies. It's Kingo.
Yeah, Kingo.
So Kingo being in the latest What If season, it was really nice to see another Eternal. It's just a shame that we haven't seen the ones that. I mean, I liked Kingo. I liked Icarus, but the ones I was really a big fan of, we haven't seen since they got stolen off of the Earth by Ereshkigal. Yeah, it's one of those things that like it's like a shit or get off the pot. You can't have it both ways. Are you featuring these guys or are you ignoring that they existed? And then I guess it's like we just have to wait and see.
And, the actual like worst of the TV shows, even Secret Invasion got referenced because they had these Skrull bandits.
Yeah,
it's like
Marvel animation where Skrulls go to die. Yeah, we'll never see them again in live action. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm still mad about Rhodey being a Skrull.
It's such a dumb thing.
Like, if you're gonna say that he was one, you need to tell us when, like within the couple months that it comes out, because that doesn't help us. It kind of stains older projects with him in it.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah. I think they thought someone in the writers' room of Secret Invasion thought that was such a cool idea.
Like it's that, and like to be honest, that is absolutely a thing that they did in Secret Invasion comics. They would reveal these crazy characters to be Skrulls, and even with the comics or when it was adapted for a cartoon and that I watched when I was a kid, I always hated that because
Yeah,
I was always like, really, like you're
yeah,
taking away these impactful moments.
yeah, yeah. Or are they banking on the idea that okay, you've known this person this whole time, and it's still them, but they just happen to be a shape-shifting green alien? It doesn't really. They don't focus on the wow factor the way I would expect to. Like you show that Rhodey's a Skrull, and then it's like, so what? It's like just give me a bit of a backstory. They should have had an entire episode start with his supplanting of the actual Rhodey,
Mhm.
and then have like a lead up of okay, here's some moments that we remember where Rhodey interacted with people from here to here. By the way, he was a Skrull doing his best impression of Rhodey. It just they don't show
Yeah.
you the part that makes it impactful. They just go, hey, check this out, and then they just leave you with the idea for years. And bad
I really
CGI
do think
arms.
that I really do think at least within live action there they Secret Invasion they do want to ignore this it exists
Yeah,
because like even the Marvels which was directly following that barely connects.
yeah, because they were supposed to. It was supposed to happen before.
No,
Marvels was supposed to happen before Secret Invasion,
that
wasn't it?
took place afterwards, but they are but
Oh,
they really did not reference much out of it. You know,
hmm.
Fury's back to being the fun-loving Fury that
Yeah,
we know.
yeah,
They had a cliffhanger from with Secret Invasion showing that Fury was bringing his wife to this scroll like Kree scroll meeting,
hmm,
and we saw the Kree scroll meeting. She was not there.
yeah.
They
Yeah,
had and then like and the between in Secret Invasion and Captain America: Brave New World, there is no reference to Secret Invasion with Brave New World, even though like that is like the thing where it would make the most sense for them to have a reference, like even simply saying
no.
Ross beat um President and Ritson from
Yeah, yeah.
Secret Invasion, or referencing the fact that there's a fact that the president just militarized citizens to go beat up innocent scrolls.
Yeah, instead of it's almost an insult to have all these excited fans watch some of the worst things like Secret Invasion, for example, and then not instead of capitalizing on okay, you've now written yourself into a corner. Writers, write us out of this. Get us some good explanation, write it into something that will make it stand on its own better. It's like, oh, we're just gonna ignore it. Ignoring it's more cost effective. We're just gonna do that. It's like, come on, like you could have leading up to the fact that Ross becomes president, and then Ritson was such a anti anti anybody with powers, but I'll just specifically anti Skrull. By the end of Secret Invasion, that would have been a cool handoff. Like, give me some explanation. Like, show me the election, show me the debates or something. Like, that would have been kind of sick to have. What's his name? Dermot Mulrooney.
Mhm.
Just in I mean, Brave New World's a mess in its own regard. That movie
Yeah.
was troublesome. But
Oh,
there's a million dropped balls going on with the last
no.
16 projects.
But like actually going like back to like some stuff that like we do like and like in or I was honest like
Yeah,
there's so many cool moments with the fights in it.
yeah.
And I heard that the same person who like I worked on the fights in this is actually gonna be doing the upcoming Avengers films, which that's exciting. I think
Like
because like he,
choreographing the action.
I guess
Cool.
so that like because like these are some really cool fights and like
Yeah,
you feel everything that happens.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you have things be like super bloody and gory, you don't feel what happens, but you felt. I feel like you feel everything within this is, and it's so cool. Like you know,
What's some of your favorite moments?
um, you know, the both giant and small and tiny zombies
Yeah.
is with those are so much fun.
That was cool.
On
That was
like
Hank
with
and
yeah
that was Hank and his wife, right?
yeah and then also Hope
Yeah.
and like the like blade just slicing through their body. I
Yeah.
like you know
He's got that
people
sixth
talk about
Khonshu sense. He knows what they are.
people talk about like James Gunn making you feel sad about poor animals getting hurt
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
Guardians movies. He's nothing he did was ever as crazy as Thanos just melting a
Rocket.
Rocket and Groot, and then being
Yeah.
shown Rocket's skull.
Yeah, Rocket's skull landing was insane. I was like, oh shit, I forgot this was TVMA until that moment. But yeah, there's like some great action sequences with Shang-Chi, and like that's what I mean about him
the
lending 5 of those rings to Kate. I want to see that action in
the
live action
fight
so bad.
the fight I between Blade and Ghost
Yeah.
was a lot of fun on this it's wasteland and sort of Mad Max thing with Sean Katie A versus the Scrolls. Was the
Yeah.
uh
Well, the
you know
Death
the
Dealer.
oh
That's
yeah,
what I was happy to see too. I was like,
Death
I
Dealer
love
is
first of
cool.
all Jimmy Woo sleeveless is hilarious, but also on top of
I
that, him having a forced friendship with Death Dealer and him just being like, "You're so deadly." It's like,
I and like it brings back to the act to like me loving how they're connecting the acting the Ant-Man and world and the Shang-Chi world. It's really cool to get Jimmy Woo interacting with Shang-Chi
yeah,
and Katie and Death Dealer or the when Spider-Man took all those zombies heads off, like that's really cool. Old
yeah,
the I think they did really well with how Kamala uses her powers.
yeah. She not only like the way that she can use her powers to like push back all the zombies, but then she uses like a big blade to chop all their heads off later. She's like, they
Mhm.
do a great job with the 3 of them at the beginning, Riri, Kate, and her. And then Blade, any scene with Blade was incredible. The Blade, when he has his sword pass over his face and Khonshu's like in the reflection of the blade, that was an awesome little
Oh yeah.
slow-mo moment. It just makes me
Oh.
very excited that they have these power sets and these that's what I mean about it being like a beta test is like they're able to show action so easily in this animated form that they're getting us excited again about characters we haven't seen in a really long
Mhm.
time, but they have to step on the gas if they're going to keep that excitement going. But yeah, that's what I
Oh.
was enjoying the most about this whole series was the action sequences were done so well.
When Valkyrie goes through the body of a zombie and explodes out his head in the head. It's really cool.
Yes, when Valkyrie,
Oh,
what I would call Bugs Bunny, travels up to the head. That's awesome.
one thing scene that I really liked, but I also have criticism of is when they're in Asgard. I thought it was really cool twist that is that the all the gods are eating these zombie parts. Are
Bowls full of eyeballs and stuff
but
like things you'd see at a Halloween party.
but my criticism comes from why is it the gods odds just instantly turn into zombies, but for some reason is in Red Guardian is able to stick it out for a while.
Well, he has that
I would.
great Soviet Russia serum
Wouldn't you think that
with
the
stuff.
that a god would be stronger than the super soldier serum?
We don't know how long that feast slash orgy was going. It could have been like 6 days
Uh,
of eating that crap, and then
But also,
guarding
though,
takes like 2 hours.
they Wanda makes this big deal about creating an army of gods. She doesn't bring any of those gods odds out for that final fight.
She doesn't. I thought that
She
she showed up
only
at the end.
she only brings Thor out, but the rest of them are just normal zombies. It seems.
I thought they all jumped down from those ships that were flying above head.
Yeah, I
The
didn't
Camartage
notice
lady
that,
started shooting them with their own bullets, and then they jumped down with their swords. I thought that's when they
maybe
got
maybe
involved,
I
but
I didn't notice it. Which it's like you'd think that they would have been a bigger deal for that
yeah,
final
yeah,
fight. I
for
without
sure.
with how she made it out to be like this was important that she did this.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
again, as we talked about before, they
There's
didn't
loopholes.
explain to us why there was a big deal about Kamala.
Very true. I was
Also, why is Riri alive?
Yeah, that's the thing is like when Riri and Kate both bite the bullet at the beginning, I didn't think Riri died. I thought, okay, they're not showing us that. At least it's my memory. If my memory serves, and I did
Yeah,
watch
they
it. I
didn't
watched the first two
show us.
episodes like
They
4 days ago, but
but like
they showed Kate dying for sure.
if but
It'd be nice if Riri didn't.
if well in that final scene they showed that so she's alive and Ivan
Yeah,
she was the one trying to explain to Kamala this is all fake.
yeah,
Like but like the that begs the question then if she didn't die, how did she get to Paris?
yeah, yeah. And then
You
on top of
know,
that,
there's a
why is
lot.
Wanda keeping her alive? Why is Wanda
Mm-hmm.
keeping Kamala alive? It's bizarre. It's like, okay, I'm going to
It's like
alter your
what?
reality. You think everything's fine and peachy keen, but why? Like, does Kamala have to stay alive?
Yeah,
Nothing's
what
been
is the
explained.
it's so there's just so much where you're just like wait why is this happening exactly
Yeah,
explain to
I have
me just
questions.
explain the it
Why is Scott Lang's head with
I
Strange's cowl so powerful? He
uh,
brings in the heat, but
oh
we don't know why.
you know I love though how just like balls to the wall insane this is.
Yeah,
I want Marvel to do more stuff that they just let the writers go crazy
yeah,
with, and you know that's also why the Howard the Duck and Darcy episode What If is my favorite because they just let them do this absolutely insane thing.
yeah.
And I'm
And the
just like
cameos were more fun
that's
too. You
cool.
get these characters that are allowed to be silly, and it's like, okay, this is like every Asgardian slash alien slash like everyone's coming together to play a little part in this. Like even the Dark Elves like have a funny quippy line in that episode. It's like
Uh,
they get to have a little fun. And that's why I think James Gunn's got it made right now with such a blank slate ahead of him. He gets to be doing balls to the walls crazy with Peacemaker, and he already did with the Suicide Squad. Um, so it's nice to see him kind of have a blank slate. I hope that he doesn't feel written into a corner with having a shared universe kind of scenario. I do like he's keeping something separate, like Batman, like Matthew.
I do
The hell's his name?
worry though that he did recently say that that he's going to only focus on like the big characters or which feels like a mistake to me. I mean, the just like his bread and butter is making obscure characters be popular.
That's true.
So and he said that he thinks they're gonna focus on the major characters because those have the biggest box office appeal. I'm like, yes, but where you found the most popularity is through
The
bringing these
underdogs.
characters up from you know if this were the way if James Gunn had taken over the DC universe before Suicide Squad and he had this mindset, we would have never gotten Peacemaker, and that is such a great show.
Yeah, it's those things. Like I didn't hear him say that or didn't see that he said that. I get monetarily why he's going to say, "Oh, we're going to focus on the big ones," but it's like those the Suicide Squad, for example, had characters that no one really knew about. It was very much
Yeah,
Guardians of the Galaxy that way, and it made some of the best, like just like of course we've seen Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn before, and she does an amazing job in that too. But like Bloodsport, for example, Idris Elba as Bloodsport. I
yeah.
want to see that guy again. I'd love to see that guy again. Do I want to see him in a big action thing with a bigger character? Sure, of course. It'd be nice to continue to blend the two. I think he's good. One of my favorite things about Superman is that he featured Guy Gardner. Like Guy Gardner is not your typical Green Lantern, but you got
Why?
to show what an obscure version of Green Lantern can do with the ring of power and what kind of things
And
he would be conjuring.
with
It's fun and it sets the tone.
just like I was saying with What If and Marvel Zombies, the Superman movie being willing to just have these other superheroes in it, I love that because that really feels like a shared universe.
Yeah, yeah. And I would love for him to continue kind of keeping. I want him to keep being able to be profitable, but because that's how you get more stuff, more stories. It's the only reason why Marvel was able to do the more obscure characters is because they made their bread and butter on the big ones, so they
Well,
could
even
explore more.
like
They felt
even
untouchable. But
even from the beginning in the MCU, before the Iron Man movie, Iron Man was not popular.
that's true. That's true.
Like
Similar to the
they
Guardians, like he wasn't that small as the Guardians, but yeah, he was not. He
you
was
know
not your lead Marvel thought when you think of Marvel
yeah
characters.
Hulk is one of the biggest Marvel characters ever, but after having a Hulk movie in 2003 that was not appreciated by most people.
Mm-hmm.
Even he was an underdog with them and picking him.
Yeah.
Thor wasn't the most popular character. Or
Yeah.
Captain America was really the only one out of those first Earth Phase One on films where he was just very popular.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was really nice to see that because to me growing up the X-Men and the Avengers were, I wouldn't say neck and neck for me. The X-Men was always more popular. But it was nice to see the Avengers were getting their day in the sun. I didn't expect it to turn into, here's 20 plus years later. Has it been 20 yet? I don't know. Wait, what was the first one? 2008.
Yeah,
Okay, carry into
2008.
3.
So
We're almost there.
yeah,
But the getting to see that the Avengers is the name that they're throwing as a blanket over all Marvel movies to unite them all and stuff like that. And like, yeah, okay, Spider-Man's been an Avenger in the comics. That makes sense. Wolverine's been an Avenger in the comics. It's an easy get to just say, okay, this is going to be our big flagship
yeah, I think
series. But
that
yeah,
was absolutely a mistake. They should have, instead of building up the Avengers brand as their big brand, they should have built up just Marvel in general.
yeah,
Kept the word Marvel in every one of their films titles.
mm-hmm.
And then you can actually just as have sign where it's just called Marvel Secret Wars,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
people will go see it.
yeah, yeah. I
But
still want to
but
see that
they
Marvel
kind of
Midnight Suns.
stopped putting Marvel in their titles. The first Avengers film had Marvel in the title, but then after that they were like, nope, we're just gonna go with the Avengers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We could run this company better than they could. I think that's what we're learning. It's hard to tell whether it's superhero fatigue that really bit them, or was it COVID? Like, it was definitely a combination of the two, but people do run out of excitement over seeing the same thing over and over again. So you really do have to keep things fresh and interesting, and that's what I think that
I think
like I
so.
say, James Gunn
I
is doing
think
right now.
that their problem stem a lot from not marketing things well. And I
Yeah, I
think
agree.
that's I think that is
Yeah.
the biggest problem that they have. That and then also not making a point to tell everybody you don't have to watch everything.
Yeah,
The
like
fact that
them
the fact of the
acting
matter
like it's a
is
big
that
deal.
you could watch any single one of these projects and you would understand it. But the fact that but they didn't tell everybody, hey, you don't have to watch all the shows. You don't have to watch all the movies. Um, that's just treat it like you treat the comics.
Yeah.
Watch the things you want to watch.
Hmm.
Nobody is reading every comic that comes out a year for Marvel.
Yeah. Yeah, they get the summaries that require you, the knowledge you need to understand the story you're about to read is in the first page.
Yeah.
You usually get a
The
little summary that says, here's where this character was last. Okay, cool. I got it.
But I really do think the marketing is like the biggest thing though. Because I think that because of listening to annoying fans online and who just hate on everything, they lost faith in their projects, so they're not marketing them as well.
Yeah.
They're not telling everybody this is a must-see project.
And they're giving too much away. They're showing you the bits
I don't even
that,
think
like,
that
I
the
still go back to Eternals being like way
I don't
over
even
shown.
think that the showing too much is as big of a problem. Yes, it might hinder a little bit of your enjoyment and for it, but but it gets people excited. I and they I and even those projects where you've said that they hindered some of your enjoyment and stuff like Multiverse of Madness as Eternals, those did well at the box office. Those did much better than they're doing now,
Yes, that's
and
true.
that's and that was a time when they hadn't started listening to these fans who hate on everything. And I think that they listening to those fans have caused them to lose faith in the project, so they don't market them the same way.
Mhm.
And that's what's made them be losing a lot of money more than anything else. And then also simply a fact that marketing in a streaming age is much different than it was before.
Oh yeah.
You know, a big thing that I remember from like I before I had like stopped using regular TV is I'd be watching one show, an hour long show, and I would get a TV spot for this or a Marvel movie like three times within that 1 hour.
Yeah.
That makes a difference that the repetition and getting TV spots so many times hearing you need to see this thing
Hmm.
and annoyingly for them and it's kind of their fault that they did this but they created an incentive for people to get ad-free plans for streaming which severely limits the amount of ads people
Hmm.
get and so they don't so people aren't hearing constantly you need to see this film.
Yeah. Yeah, I still had at the time before Thunderbolts came out, I was like covering my eyes and plugging my ears because there was a Thunderbolts trailer because we just switched over to Bell internet, which came with like a TV package, so we started watching some of the TV shows, and every commercial was for Thunderbolts because the package we got still had a couple ads, but it seemed like the only ad that came through was either for gambling apps or go see Thunderbolts, and I was like having to run out of the room, and my wife's making fun of me. She's like, you're gonna see the movie anyway. I was like, yeah, but I don't want to know what's in it, and I run away from the screen because I know that they're gonna reveal that like the whole like void thing was revealed in like the
the
third or
reason why
fourth
I say
commercial.
reason why I say that I don't think it actually is a big deal, them showing a lot in the trailers. So obviously you're not watching the trailers because you're gonna watch the film anyway.
Yeah,
The trailers are for the people who are not just gonna watch the film anyway. They're to get those people hyped up, and they have to do whatever they can to get those people hyped up.
oh,
Cut
you're
out.
freezing to die.
I on my screen you froze.
Oh no,
Did you hear what I said?
I heard that it's not for it's for the new people who haven't seen the movie.
Yeah, it's for the it's for the
new
people
fans.
who have not decided whether they're gonna go,
Right.
and you have to do whatever you can to hype those people up. And I don't think they're doing a good job at hyping those people up, but but spoiling things in the trailer is what hypes people up, and and I think that I think that and I don't say this to be mean, but I think you just gotta realize the trailers aren't for you.
No, that's fair. That's fair. It's something I have to avoid in order for me to enjoy the movie more. But yeah, I am gonna go see the movie either way. What I think would work better personally as a trailer for those people who aren't decided on whether they're gonna see the movie, because it is always an editor. There's always an editor that's doing the trailer, the marketing, and all that stuff that has nothing to do with the editing of the film or the writing or anything like that. So instead of handing your project, your movie that's completely cut and ready and done for theaters, handing it over to a marketing editor, I think that they should just make the trailer for the movie a scene that embodies the chemistry between the main characters, the something enticing that would make them want to go see it, a dynamic kind of moment in the movie, and then stop like a cliffhanger. And uncut, I think that a short scene would get people more excited to go see what the fuck is going to happen to these people next better than clip, 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 clip of all the most exciting
Maybe
moments,
I don't
spoiling
know.
those
I
moments
think
for people.
that I think that there's that there are a lot of times where they do actually just release clips, but they don't get
Yeah.
a lot of steam when they do that. So I think that they kind of do need to do like the clip trailers or just for people who are gonna see it anyway, make sure that there's even more crazy moments that are in the actual film.
Yeah, that's fair.
The
I mean, there's some
you know
people who also just want to know what they're in for. Like they don't want to waste their time or their money, so they want
and
as much
yeah,
information that they can get without fully spoiling it. Like my wife's like that. She wants to know the summary of something before we watch it, and I'm always going, the more I know, because I don't trust the people who write those summaries to not give away something that would have been nice to have been a surprise. So
true.
I've got no trust for that. But she's because I'll likely watch something anyway. I give a lot more things a chance, where she's much more selective with her time, more selective with her viewing. So she's definitely going to want to know. So she's one of those people who needs convincing.
Yeah.
So I use her as a barometer in this scenario.
Yeah, just I'm like I really do think the marketing is like their biggest problem. And it's really is all because they've lost faith in their projects.
Yeah, yeah, it feels that way. It feels like a very unconfident person
The
is
Fantastic
putting
Four
forth
film
something.
should have been a slam dunk $1 billion.
Yeah,
It's insane that it is very much in Marvel terms a flop.
yeah, which sucks that that's considered a flop.
The
What do they have?
the
600 million?
Fantastic Four is signed that people have been excited to see in the MCU for ever since the beginning of the MCU. that should have been in really popular, but they didn't market well, so it wasn't.
Yeah. Yeah, it grossed $520 million, and budget wise, what was it? I'm looking for that now. Fantastic Four First Steps specifically. Sorry.
You know, with like
200 million.
actually like showing stuff in like the trailer. Um, with Captain America: Brave New World, it's so weird that they chose to make a Red Hulk the big thing of the trailer and not the leader.
Oh god, yeah. They were so unconfident
Like,
that
why
they
is
entirely butchered the leader in that movie.
they made the leader be a leader be a like crazy a secret where they weren't gonna show him into the movie, even though he's the main villain of the film. But they're willing to show Red Hulk in the trailer, who's only in there for a scene.
Yeah.
Like, that's weird.
That's running a risk. That to me is gambling with people's expectations, because you set them up to go, okay, the Red Hulk is going to be a big deal in this. He's in it for 8 minutes at the tail end. It's
Look,
the best part of the
why?
movie.
But why?
But you didn't need to tell me that.
Why did they want to keep the leader be a secret? Like, that's weird.
Yeah, I agree.
It would make
100%.
more sense to have to just show the leader throughout your trailers, and then have the secret for when the film actually comes out be the Red Hulk.
Yeah, that would have been. That's what I mean. But like, that's an amazing thing to. When I'm seeing a movie in theaters and that kind of surprise hits, and you're like, you're kind of sure by that point in the movie that he's going to turn into the Red Hulk, because he karate chops a table in half, and you're like, okay, well, why is he so strong? But you're not knowing at all, unless they
It's a little
spoil it,
weird.
whether he'll be featured.
It's
Maybe it'll
also
be
a
next
little
movie.
weird, like the way that they did it for Red Hulk. Like, instead of making it be like specifically like he got injected with gamma radiation, it's like, oh, he's just had a bunch of iodine pills. I'm like, what? What?
You can make anybody a Hulk if you take those iodine pills.
You're connecting it to the 2008 film anyway. Why don't you use the fact that the leader had created so much of Bruce's blood?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, that would make a lot more sense.
Or like, if he's hypnotizing people anyway and like brainwashing them, why not brainwash Harrison Ford to not remember that he's been gamma radiated? You know what I mean? Like, you've got all these other ways that you could have made him just like the Hulk. I don't know. Iodine pills,
Um,
Altoids.
is there any final things you'd like to say about Marvel Zombies?
Um, I liked it more than What If. Again, it's because the consistency of seeing a story over 4 episodes was nicer, felt more fulfilling. I liked it. I liked it in the sense that we got characters we haven't seen in a long time, primarily voiced by the people who voice them, or who act them, which is great. Love Shang-Chi, love Katie, love Kamala. I keep saying Kamala, and it's Kamala Khan.
Yeah,
But anyway, it's and obviously Blade. Getting to see Blade.
I think
Marshall
that
was great.
the election last year messed us people up
Yeah,
with particularly Marvel fans for because
yeah.
as she
Kamala
pronounced
Khan sounds better.
Kamala Khan but Kamala Harris.
Yeah, and that was the thing. It's like, it was almost like it was like a line in the sand when people would purposefully pronounce her name wrong out of disrespect. And it's like, okay, well, you better know how to pronounce it. So I got really good at pronouncing it. It's Kamala Harris, Kamala Harris, Kamala Harris, no problem. But now that's fucked me up forever for Kamala Khan.
Yeah,
because her name's Kamala. Damn it. Fucking real world messing up my comics.
what character on voice that it's such a small thing, but I think it's cool that they even got this was they got the actress who plays Kamala's mom to voice her for that final scene.
Did she? That's cute. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
when she
So,
telling Kamala to come down, on your friends are here, here. That
oh,
is
that's awesome.
actually the voice. That is. I think that's cool. That they even decide small as that they got or
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
it's nice to give it to those actors that they're waiting in the wings. They want to be featured more. Let's go. Let's get them back on the
Uh,
big screen or little screen.
Another or little moment I think is really cool. Is when Khonshu's giant head just comes out to talk with Valkyrie.
Yes. You old bird face or whatever she calls him. But yeah, that's and then the fact that none of the other ones can see him is at least keeping things
Oh yeah.
canon, keeping things correct. You got to have those rules, right? And it made me happy that Moon Knight was featured at all.
And of course, and like I love just the fact that Valkyrie is like friends with him, with
Yeah,
Khonshu. Like I just love that.
yeah. The idea that she's been around so long, why not?
uh,
It's nice.
like and I really hope that Kamala does get to appear in the upcoming Avengers films because I want to see these character dynamics in live action, like her and Kay and Riri, her and Red Guardian, her and Valkyrie, her and Shang. Like it's just I think it's just gonna be so much fun to see them in live action on the big screen with these dynamics.
I would love for it to be too. Like you've got okay, so you're setting up in the Doomsday movie. Okay, we know for sure you've got the new Avengers, you've got the X-Men, you got Fantastic Four. Is Sam Wilson's Avengers going to feature Shang-Chi? Is it going to
Well,
feature Young
he
Avengers? Is it like who is he
well,
with?
I would assume he's on Sam's team. He is
Yeah.
in the film. He was one of the people announced in that casting announcement, but
Is Carol
uh,
Danvers one of them?
Carol Danvers was not announced,
Yeah. Yeah, and then I saw some bullshit
which
on Instagram
weird.
saying Carol Danvers and Monica Rambeau will fight in Avengers Doomsday, and I was like,
What?
neither one has been announced. I didn't think,
Yeah,
or has
no.
Monica? I don't know. I'm like, okay,
I feel like Monica has to appear with the X-Men being part of it.
yeah,
But it's just like but the other part of me is like I wouldn't be surprised if they just ignore that.
oh
And it's
god,
annoying.
it is
That
annoying. I mean, that needs to be where the X-Men come from, is whatever universe she went to with Beast and
no
Valkyrie. That needs to
and
be
then
where we get the X-Men. Otherwise,
oh
what a waste.
another little moment that I just love with some moments I love in Marvel Zombies when the one guy just asked Blade, "Can you make me immortal?"
Yes, I did have that one written down. I
And
really
then
love that he's like, no, because that's something. I mean, familiars are what they call it in the Blade
yeah,
movies, where it's just people that have been
and
promised by vampires to be turned one day, and it's like that's an interesting concept that you shouldn't get rid of.
and then Kamal's reaction to meeting Spider-Man
Yeah,
it is so much fun.
geeking out.
Sally, I wonder for like the upcoming Avengers films, if Kamala does appear, um, what her reaction will be to meeting the X-Men. And because they don't exist in this universe, that'll be interesting to see. But I would also could they exist as comics in this universe? And that would be cool. That would be really fun if they say that they exist as comics and that Kamala is a fan of them as comic book characters.
Yeah, that
That
would
would
be
be
dope.
really fun.
Agreed. There's so much that Kamala can do, and Kamala. There's so much that Kamala can do with the charisma that she has with these other characters so easily. Like we said, she's like considered the heart in this short series. Um, that I'm excited to see whatever the hell she's in next. I really hope that it is that she has a big part to play in the next few Avengers films.
Oh
Fingers
yeah.
crossed.
I think that's really everything to say though for this episode of the podcast. As any final words you'd like to say as I end this off?
I'm excited for the next thing that we get to talk about. I am loving that we got to talk about Marvel Zombies. I hope that they get creative like this with live action stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So everyone, I want to thank you for listening. If you like this scale analysis, please give a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or 5-star rating on Spotify. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the episodes. Please let me know. If you'd like to listen more from me, please subscribe. Many more game analysis from me coming, so keep on the lookout. This again is your host, Smash Trivia John, signing off.